everybody. Tonight I'm telling my story as an elf. Thank you. Well, I told the story before, but tonight I have such a better ending. I am so before I can explain, my mother was hypothyroidism. She had her full thyroid, but her thyroid was still not lacking hormones, so she had to take Synthroid. Fast forward when she got pregnant with my older sister, she stopped taking her Synthroid and never went back on it again. My sister ended up got complications. However, by the time she got pregnant with me, that was not the case. In addition to not taking her Synthroid, she did not tell her OBGYN that she had a thyroid problem, so they did not know to monitor it. A pregnant woman usually gets her blood work done probably 4 months pregnant, and the TSH level, the TSH blood work takes, it's a thyroid stimulating hormone, but it's not included, so the mother would actually have to, the doctor would have to order it separately had he known. Anyway, fast forward again to when she had me, I was completely disfigured, but they didn't know the culprit yet. They didn't know the culprit until I was 5 months old, in which my hair had gone black, burned black. I didn't have any fingernails or toenails. My body was like stout, and my arms and legs like an alien. But going back to when I was born, I was born with this led me to have poor brain development that obviously includes my speech, my hearing. I wear hearing aids now, but let me count: speech, hearing, delayed reflexes, which keep me off the road, so I'm keeping everybody safe, and slow motor skills and delayed intellect. Now I like to rule off the delayed intellect because I think I'm a pretty smart cookie nowadays. So, how does a mother explain to her child that she has to take this medication for their whole life? I asked my mother at that time when I was growing up, what's wrong with me? Why do I have these issues? Not those words, but I said, well, honey, you have to take this medication because you were born with a boo-boo. But as I got older, I never stopped asking her, and her answer got a little bit more specific. But it wasn't until I turned 38 years old that my father came out and told me that my mom had written an article about me, about my troubled beginnings. And I went back to my mom and said, Mom, Dad told me you had written an article about me. And I said, and she just bawled out crying because she really, apparently I wasn't supposed to know about it. And so my mom was just, I did, please forgive me. I just, I had no idea. She got it out. She showed me. I read it, and I completely understood. And as a mom, please don't be upset. I think it's a blessing that I found out when I did, because, growing up, I would have used it as a crutch, and to think that, my life was already decided for me. I was just giving up, hearing that the doctors didn't think I was going to make the past the 6th grade. Come on. So, finding out when I did, and looking back at my accomplishments, I'm like, wow, I got through all that with all these, delays or whatever. But anyway, so I used the article, which is actually in my second book. My first book is Too Afraid to Talk, but I didn't get it into my second book. I didn't get into my second book because, due to the size of the article was much bigger, and it was just better fitted in my second book. But anyway, when I read the article, it just makes so much sense. It answers so many questions, and I thought, Mom, I have to do something with this. If other kids or other people can benefit from what happened to me, then I didn't go through all this in vain. And so I did. So I wrote my book, Too Afraid to Talk, and Why People Was Bullied. And well, growing up, I have to kind of go back a little bit. So growing up, I suffered severe low self-esteem, or none, if anything. So due to my speech impediment, I didn't get my speech impediment. I wasn't allowed to talk for 4 years. I had to bring a pencil and paper wherever I went. And that's amongst family and friends. I was allowed to talk in school. My mom kept in touch with my speech pathologist in school, and she told my mom when I was becoming more fluent to speak at home. In the 70s, people frowned on stutter or stammer. But anyway, so I grew up with poor self-esteem. But today, I have 2 beautiful daughters. Their father was a wonderful father. Unfortunately, wasn't a very good husband. But that's another story for another night. But I just want to keep the story happy because I just recently moved into my new apartment. I lived in other places that were based on my income. It was either the living conditions were unbearable. But I actually moved into my brand new apartment of my own for the first time in my life. And I honestly never thought